Shalom, family. It's good to see you all. We're just going to give it some time for people to come in. Boy, I tell you, the month of January has been something else when you really think about it. I can't believe, and we're not even at the end yet. It's no telling what it's going to look like when we get towards the end, but this has been one hell of a month, for real. I mean, February, who knows what we're going to see. It is almost like a mixed bag. You just don't know what you're going to pull out. That's what these months feel like now. All right, so we're going to listen to two different podcasts over on Spreaker from Brother L. And I think these are right on time. Shalom, family. Shalom. Okay. All right. All right, family. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We got a good amount of people in here. You know, it's never going to be as much as if I'm doing a regular podcast. I mean, I already know that. You know, that's why they call us a remnant. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, family.
We believe in the truth that is in the Bible. We believe in the resurrection of the dead. You are Lazarus. You are the dry bone. You are the prodigal son. You are the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking, who will stand up in the last day when the trumpet is sounded. We believe we are the people of God's choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. When the Bible mentions Babylon, it means America. When the Bible mentions Sodom and Gomorrah, that's America. When the Bible mentions Egypt, that's America. This is Rome. This is Babylon. This is that wicked kingdom that God is going to come and set fighting to in the last day. And you're living in that day right now. And I'm glad.
Blessings, family. This is your brother L. We are now on episode number 28 of the Unload and Reload series, where we go through scriptures, chapters, verses, stories, and current events so that we may gain a more motivational mindset, so that we may obtain victory, success, and destiny in this life and in the life to come. The topic for today is take all, lose nothing. Take all, lose nothing. Let's go to Joshua chapter 1, verse 1 through 5. We are indeed in the midst of a war. In warfare, there is gains, there is losses. But going into any battle, our mentality must be, I'm going to take all and lose nothing. Our mind must be set towards absolute dominance. Imagine a warfare where you go in with all your soldiers and not one of your soldiers dies or perishes. They may get wounded. They may get hurt. There may be some broke bones. They may get cut, but none of them, not one of them dies. But you go in and you slaughter and conquer all of your enemies. Not one of your soldiers dies, but all of your enemies perish. And you take that land that enemy was on that belongs to you. That is an example of take all, lose nothing. In spiritual battles, in natural battles, going into war with this type of mentality will suit us well. And listen very closely here to Joshua chapter 1, verse 1 through 5, about how the Most High was putting this mentality in the commander of the armies of Israel at that time, who was Joshua. And looking at how the Most High was talking to Joshua, we also must have that same mentality transferred into us, which is take all, lose nothing. Here's what it says. Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Most High, it came to pass that the Most High spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that I have given unto you, as I said unto Moses. The Most High has given Joshua a command here. He's saying, take everything. Every place the sole of your foot treads is yours. Take it. He's instilling within Joshua the same mentality you and I need to have instilled within us, which is take all, lose nothing. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea, toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. The Most High told Joshua, no man shall be able to stand before you. There is no competition. There is no opponent that will be able to defeat you. Doesn't this sound like a pep talk that a coach would give his team before going into a championship? Doesn't this sound like the type of pep talk that a boxer's corner and his trainers would give him before going into a fight? You never put doubt in your mind or in your heart and in your spirit when you're about to engage in a battle. Before you go to battle, your mentality is, I'm going to take all and lose nothing. I'm going to take all and lose nothing. You don't go in there already feeling defeated. You know that in any war, you're going to have wounds, you're going to have cuts. You know the enemy's going to get some jabs in. But at the end of the day, those jabs will not kill you because you're going in to take all and lose nothing. This is how the Most High wanted Joshua to think. This is how the Most High wants us to think, because this is how the Most High and the Messiah think. Everything they do, they take all and lose nothing. Listen to what it says in John chapter 10, verses 28 through 29. Listen to how the Messiah thinks and how he prays. It says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man be able to pluck them out of my hand. The Messiah has a take all, lose nothing mentality. He said, I'm going to take all my sheep and protect them and guard them, and no man will be able to pluck them out of my hand. The Messiah is not out here to take losses. That's why he came to lay down everything. Because he said, in order for me to take all, I got to give all. And that all that he gave was his life. And he took it right back. Because he looked directly in the eyes of the wicked ones of that day and the wicked government. He looked right in Pilate's eyes and told him, no man takes my life unless I lay it down. And if I lay it down, I got power to pick it back up again. This is the talk of a man who has a take all, lose nothing mentality. That's the same mentality we need to have. Listen to this. He said, no man shall be able to pluck them out of my hand. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. The Most High has a take all, lose nothing mentality. The Messiah has a take all, lose nothing mentality. You and I also must have a take all, lose nothing mentality. This has been the fire that has been pumping through the blood of our people for centuries. That spirit, that mind, that heart to go into warfare and take all and lose nothing. As we see here in the book of Jasher, chapter 64, verses 37 through 38. This was at a time where the Egyptians was trying to set up the children of Israel to die in warfare. They needed the children of Israel in order to win this battle against the children of Esau and Chittim. And there was a small group of Israelite men, about 150 of them, to be exact. You can read this in Jasher 64. And they went out into this battle, 150 Israelites versus tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of enemies. And you already know what took place. They took all and lost nothing, because that is the power within our people through the Most High, not of our own strength and power, but through the Most High, through the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit of fire that indwells us to give us that mentality to take all and lose nothing. Because listen to what happened here in Jasher 64. It says, and all the host of the kings fled from before the children of Israel. And the children of Israel pursued them, continuing to smite them unto the borders of the land of Cush. And the children of Israel slew of them in the road 2,000 men. Listen to this. And of the children of Israel, not one fell. So out of this small group of Israelites, 150 men, they were slaughtering thousands of the enemy. But guess what? Out of their group, not one of them perished. Not one of them died. Not one of them was destroyed. Yes, they got wounded. Yes, they got stabbed. Yes, there was blood that poured from them. Yes, that took place in the battle, but none of them died. Why? The Most High was with them. Why? Because they had a take all, lose nothing mentality. This is the mentality we also must have when it comes for us praying for our family. We must have a take all, lose nothing mentality to stare the devil, the demons, and all of the unclean spirits and the powers of darkness directly in the face and telling them, you will not take my son. You will not take my daughter. You will not destroy my father. You will not destroy my mother. You will not destroy my marriage. You will not destroy my business. You will not destroy my ministry, because I'm coming to take all and lose nothing. The violent take it by force is what the scripture says. So you must stare every single legion and every single unclean spirit directly in the eye under the power of the Holy Spirit and in the name of the Most High and his Son, and say, I'm here to take all and lose nothing. Just like for those 3 days that the Messiah was in the grave, he descended to the very seats of hell and he took, yes, he didn't ask for it. He took the keys of hell and death from Hasatan. He descended into the devil's house, kicked down the devil's door, choked the demons, choked the devils, spoiled the principalities and powers, pulled a kick door and a home invasion on the headquarters of hell. And he said, I'm here to take all and lose nothing. And he took the keys of hell and death right out of the hands of Hasatan. Take all, lose nothing. This is how we're born. This is how we're bred. This is how we bleed. This is how we overcome. This is how we build. This is how we win. Take all, lose nothing. Let's go to Luke chapter 21, verse 15 through 18. Listen to what Hamashiach tells us. Get this in your soul. Get this in your heart, your spirit, your mind, and your blood, that you will take all and lose nothing. This is the warrior's creed. This is the law of the conqueror. This is the manifest destiny of the saints of the Most High, who are indwelled with the Ruach HaKodesh, who are destined to win, who are destined to inherit the earth, who are destined to dominate. Take all, lose nothing. Luke 21:15, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. That means no opponents. That means no competitors. That means the same thing that he told Joshua in Joshua chapter 1. No man shall be able to stand before you. I will give you mouth and wisdom that none of your enemies will be able to gainsay nor resist. That's a take all, lose nothing mentality. But listen to what he says next. He says, and ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolks and friends. And some of you shall they cause to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but there shall not a hair of your head perish. Now, wait a minute. To some, this would seem like a contradiction, because at the end of the verse, he says, not a hair of your head shall perish. But earlier he said, some of you they shall cause to be put to death, and you shall be betrayed and hated. So some may say, wait a minute, how can all that happen to me, yet at the same time, not a hair of my head perish? Well, it has to do with the level of your strength. Think of it like this, family. If a soldier has on a bulletproof vest and he gets shot 20 times in the bulletproof vest, even though he got shot, it didn't faze him, right? Right. So we, the people of the Most High, even if our physical body is killed, that's nothing. You know why? Because we resurrect unto eternal life. So truly, even in death, not a hair of our head is touched. Why? Because they destroyed the body, but they can never destroy the soul. Think of it like this. If you have a boxer that has a tough chin, he can get rocked with a mighty right hand that would drop most men. But if he has a strong, tough jaw that's not made of glass, but's made of iron and steel, he'll eat that jab like, psh, that's all you working with? Really? The same right hook that would knock out everybody else, he'll take it on the chin and smile like, you ain't doing nothing. That's it. That's as hard as you hit. That's what the Messiah is telling us. All these things, being betrayed, being hated, being delivered up to death. These are things that would destroy the average person, but we aren't average. We are supernatural soldiers of the Most High. We are the elect, the elite, and the remnant. These things that would destroy other people, all it does is give us more energy. All it does is give us more power. We take that on the chin and say, that's light. That's light. That's all you working with? Really? That's what it means. That even though all these things happen or may happen to us, that not a hair of our head shall perish. It means the Father will build us up so strong that the same forces and powers that can knock down towers will laugh at it whenever they hit us with it. We'll laugh at the pain. We'll laugh at it. That's how strong the Father will make us. It's as if we have on a bulletproof bodysuit and somebody's busting nuclear warheads at us and we just dust it off. Like, really? Nuclear warheads, that's all y'all got? And we walking out of the fire in the cloud, flexing our biceps like all praise to the Most High for giving me such strength. That's what the Messiah meant by that. He meant that he's going to build up our strength so much that whenever they bring out their most powerful attacks, it will be light work to us. Hard work is easy work whenever we got the Most High with us. Take all, lose nothing. That's the mentality. That's the motto. Luke chapter 10, verse 19. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. The Messiah is talking to us like that, the same way the Most High was talking to Joshua, telling him, no man shall be able to stand before you. No man will be able to pluck you out of my hand. Go forth, take all and lose nothing. He's sending us out for victory, success, and destiny. And we must go out with that mentality. As King David said, Father, you cover my head in the day of battle. So as we go out into battle, our mentality is take all, lose nothing. And that's how we reap the spoils of war. All praise to the Most High. This has been episode number 28 of the Unload and Reload series, where we go through scriptures, chapters, verses, stories, and current events in order that we may obtain a more motivational mindset so that we can gain victory, success, and destiny in this life and in the life to come. For brothers and sisters that's interested in contacting the ministry, take a look at the comment box underneath this audio stream to find the ministry email. For brothers and sisters interested in joining the ministry with boots on the ground to do kingdom work, take a look at the comment box underneath this audio stream to see how to join us to do the work of the kingdom. For brothers and sisters interested in donating financially and financially supporting the ministry, take a look at the links in the description box for how to donate financially to the ministry. For those interested in health and wellness, we have a website where we offer CMOS to brothers and sisters to help boost your immune system with those 92 nutrients that are available through CMOS. For brothers and sisters interested in fashion, we have a website where we offer pro-Black, pro-Hebrew themed garments for brothers and sisters. For those interested in scripture study tools and edification tools, we have 5 audiobooks that we've done that are all narrated by myself. The 613 Laws of Torah audiobook, the Words of the Messiah audiobook, the Words of the Father audiobook, the Book of Prayers, and the Book of War. These 5 audiobooks are great for your edification and your scripture study. Take a look at the comment box underneath this audio stream for information about all of these great things that we have available to you, to the saints. Most High willing, we'll be back tomorrow to go through more scriptures, chapters, verses, stories, and current events so that we may gain a more motivational mindset in order that we may obtain victory, success, and destiny in this life and in the life to come. Take all, lose nothing.
We believe in the truth that is in the Bible. We believe in the resurrection of the dead. You are Lazarus. You are the dry bone. You are the prodigal son. You are the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking, who will stand up in the last day when the trumpet is sounded. We believe we are the people of God's choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. When the Bible mentions Babylon, it means America. When the Bible mentions Sodom and Gomorrah, that's America. When the Bible mentions Egypt, that's America. This is Rome. This is Babylon. This is that wicked kingdom that God is going to come and set fighting to in the last day. And you're living in that day right now. And I'm glad. We believe in the truth that is in the Bible. We believe in the resurrection of the dead. You are Lazarus. You are the dry bone. You are the prodigal son. You are the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking, who will stand up in the last day when the trumpet is sounded. We believe we are the people of God's choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. When the Bible mentions Babylon, it means America. When the Bible mentions Sodom and Gomorrah, that's America. When the Bible mentions Egypt, that's America. This is Rome. This is Babylon. This is that wicked kingdom that God is going to come and set fighting to in the last day. And you're living in that day right now. And I'm glad.
Blessings, family. This is your brother L. We are now on episode number 31 of the Unload and Reload series, where we go through scriptures, chapters, verses, stories, and current events so that we may gain a more motivational mindset so that we can obtain victory, success, and destiny in this life and in the life to come. The topic for today is it's a setup to do the impossible. It's a setup to do the impossible. The enemy and one of his tactics of warfare is to put the people of the Most High in impossible situations. This is our people as a whole throughout our history, and also it's a tactic that the enemy uses against us in our personal lives. He's always working snares, traps, and setups. He's a chess player. His whole objective is to get us into impossible situations where we have no more options or no more moves so that he can checkmate us. These are his plays. These are his maneuvers. These are his setups. The enemy may do his setups, but I'm going to go through some scriptures here today so that we can be edified to know that even though it's a setup for us to do the impossible. It's a setup but it's also a setup for the Most High to do the impossible through us. The enemy loves to put us in those impossible situations. But all that has happened with us as a people throughout our history, and many of you can testify in your own personal lives, that when the enemy set you up, it was a setup to do the impossible. When the enemy set you up and placed you in that impossible situation, all that took place was the Most High did the impossible through you. He strengthened you to do the impossible. In these times that we live in, we as a people and us individually need to understand the enemy is pulling out a lot of setups right now. And it's setups for us as a people and for you and I individually to do the impossible. Let's revisit some stories here. Let's go to Exodus chapter 5, verse 5 through 19, about one scenario where the enemy set up our people to do something that was impossible to do. Listen to this. And Pharaoh said, this is Exodus chapter 5, verse 5 through 19. And Pharaoh said, behold, the people of the land now are many, and ye make them rest from their burdens. And Pharaoh commanded the same day the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick, as heretofore, to let them go and gather straw for themselves. And the tale of the bricks which they did make heretofore, ye shall lay upon them. Ye shall not diminish aught thereof, for they be idle. Therefore they cry, saying, let us go and sacrifice to our Elohim. Let their more work be laid upon the men, that they may labor therein, and let them not regard vain words. So Pharaoh has commanded that our people, their work be doubled. The work that they was given our people to do at that time was already impossible. We had to make bricks to build. But he added even more impossible workload on us to make us go get the straw ourselves before they provide the straw for our people. Because you know, in order to make those bricks, they needed the straw, they needed the mud, they needed the water. So he's putting an impossible task on our people to run and go get their own straw and mud and mix it in the water. And on top of all that, to expect them to have time to make bricks and build with it. He wanted them to do all that before sundown, which was impossible. But he still put that policy and that decree out there. He set our people up for an impossible situation. Listen to what happened next. And the taskmasters of the people went out and their officers, and they spake to the people, saying, thus saith Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go ye, get you straw where ye can find it, yet not aught of your work shall be diminished. So the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble instead of straw. And the taskmasters hasted them, saying, fulfill your works, your daily task, as when there was straw. And the officers of the children of Israel, which Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and demanded, wherefore have ye not fulfilled your task in making brick, both yesterday and today as heretofore? Then the officers of the children of Israel came and cried unto Pharaoh, saying, wherefore dealest thou thus with thy servants? Now look at this level of wickedness in Pharaoh and his people, because this is the same level of wickedness that is in our enemies, our opponents, and our adversaries today. They'll set people up, they'll set us up for impossible tasks and impossible situations, and then punish us for not fulfilling an impossible rule or policy. How wicked is that? That's the setup that the enemy is putting people in, us as a people and us individually, to set us up in impossible situations. But remember, it's all a setup for us to do the impossible. Look at our history as a people. We've been placed in impossible scenario after impossible scenario after impossible scenario. A lesser people would have been extinct, bloodline exterminated. Yet here we are, still being fruitful, still multiplying. All their setups have only made us as a people and us individually do the impossible. And that's exactly what takes place now, family. Understand that they are going to continue to put impossible scenarios out there to try to crush your hopes. They're going to continue to put impossible scenarios out there to try to wear out the patience of the saints. Impossible scenarios. Decreasing people's pay, but then raising people's rent and the price of food. You paying people less and decreasing people's hours, but then you making the price on housing and food and necessities skyrocket. How wicked is that? That's what you call putting people in impossible scenarios, paying them less, but charging them more for everything. That's a setup. It's a setup. You're evicting people out of their homes for something taking place that wasn't even their fault. Here, the children of Israel, they suffering for whenever Moses and Aaron went to have the conversation with Pharaoh. They was going about their business, working every day, going home to their wives, and giving glory unto the Most High for a new day. And then this happens. Same scenario many people have been faced with the past few months, was going about their business, not bothering nobody. And all this nonsense hits with the virus and this and that, something that happened way over somewhere that we ain't have nothing to do with. And then a few months later, all of a sudden, now everybody's saying it's our fault. Now everybody's saying that y'all the ones causing this. Y'all the ones causing the riots. Y'all the one causing all this unrest. Putting our people in impossible situations as if things was not hard enough. That's the mentality in our enemies' minds. They see things are bad, they want to make it worse. They see things are already impossible, they want to make it even more impossible. But guess what? Even though it's a setup for us to do the impossible. Because every time they do that, we always do the impossible, even when they put us in impossible situations, man. Every damn time we do. Ain't gonna be no different with this time. It's a setup. But it's a setup for us to do the impossible, for you to do the impossible. So when you see the setup, when you see the scenarios they're putting our people in and trying to put you in, when you see that, recognize, okay, they trying to make this impossible. So that just means I'm getting ready to do the impossible. I can see them trying to make this impossible. That just means the Most High is about to do the impossible. So you should have a smirk on your face whenever you see them making things harder and harder and harder and harder. You should have a smirk on your face knowing, okay, that must means I'm about to hit some numbers on them. That must means I'm about to do some numbers out here. That must means I'm about to do the impossible. That must means I'm about to overcome. Because they trying their best to wear me out. I'm about to do the impossible. Because it's a setup. But it's a setup for all of us, for you and I, to do the impossible. Let's continue to read. It says, there is no straw given unto thy servants, and they say to us, make brick. And behold, thy servants are beaten, but the fault is in thine own people. But he said, ye are idle, ye are idle. Therefore ye say, let us go and do sacrifice to the Most High. Go therefore now and work, for there shall no straw be given you. Yet shall ye deliver the tale of bricks. And the officers of the children of Israel did see that they were in evil case. After it was said, ye shall not diminish aught from your bricks of your daily task. So family, all the things that's going on now with them trying to make things impossible, with what they're doing with certain things, with the economy, all of these things, any scenario that they're presenting that makes your victory, your success, and your destiny seem impossible, understand all that is a setup for you to do the impossible. Because they were born to bow at our feet. We are destined to overcome. So whenever those situations are put in front of you, think of it as an opportunity for you to do the impossible. That's the motivational mindset. And I'm going through these stories to remind you of your history, that every time they put you in impossible straits and impossible scenarios, you've crushed it, you've overcome, you've risen out of it. And the same ones that put you in that scenario, they have to end up bowing at your feet. The same people who put our people in that impossible scenario, that pull and push of trying to wear us out, those were the same ones that was rushing to hand us their silver and their gold, begging us to leave Egypt so that they would survive. All these Karens and all these suspected white inferiority people, all these folks that got their snout all high in the air, making all these impossible demands, trying to make people live up to standards that they themselves don't even live up to, trying to put restrictions on folks that they're not even following, trying to make people be in a box, trying to put limitations on where people can go, what people can do. All those folks, those gonna be the ones bowing down and putting gold at your feet. Because even though it's a setup for us to do the impossible. Just like we came out of Egypt, we shall come up out of this. The Most High shall do the impossible. We shall do the impossible. Let's go to Daniel chapter 2, verse 1 through 13. Here's what it says. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams wherewith his spirit was troubled and his sleep brake from him. Then the king commanded to call the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king, and the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, saying, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me. If you will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. But if ye show the dream and the interpretation thereof, ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. The king answered and said, I know of certainty that ye would gain the time, because ye see the thing is gone from me. But if you will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you, for ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation thereof. And the Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore, there is no king, master, nor ruler that asks such things at any magician or astrologer or Chaldean. And it is a rare thing that the king requireth, and there is none other that can show it before the king, except the gods whose dwelling is not with flesh. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. So this king has presented an impossible scenario. He wants somebody to tell him his dream that he don't even remember. That's impossible. That's impossible for a mortal to be able to do that. How you don't even know the dream, but you want us to fulfill it. Doesn't that sound a lot like the wicked that's in this society now? They're not even paying off all their debts. They owe trillions in debt, but then they'll try to wrangle the common man over electric bill and car notes and this and that. They trying to hold the people to standards that they're not even fulfilling. That's the type of spirit that is on these wicked in these times. That was how the king's spirit was then. He wanted these people to tell him a dream he couldn't even remember. And then if they couldn't do it, he said, I'm going to kill all y'all. That's putting people in an impossible situation. That's trying to put stress and anxiety and worry on people. And that's what these enemies today want to do as well, family. They want to put stress, anxiety, worry, and frustration on us. Because if we're operating after stress, anxiety, frustration, and worry, then we're not meditating on the Most High. We're not having that clarity of thought in prayer and fasting. We're not receiving those downloads from the heavenlies. We're not receiving those instructions if we allow them to give us that anxiety, that frustration, and that worry. And many times, all these people are doing is grandstanding, putting forth illusions, because this same Nebuchadnezzar lost his damn mind. Whenever you read the book of Daniel, this same dude making all these impossible demands, the Most High made him lose his damn mind. And that's the same spirit that is on a lot of these wicked today that are in leadership positions. They're psychopaths, they're sociopaths, they're manic depressives. Behind closed doors, they probably ball up in a corner, butt naked, scratching themselves, foaming at the mouth. Behind closed doors, having all sorts of manic episodes and psychotic breaks. But when they step in the podium in front of the camera, they polish them up to look as if they are a world ruler and a Nebuchadnezzar type. So none of these other mere mortals could solve the king's dream that he didn't even know. It took a Hebrew, Daniel, to do the impossible. And look at this. This is what was not fair about this. Daniel was minding his own business. He wasn't even there when the other astrologers and all them was in the presence of the king. Daniel wasn't even there. Daniel was probably at the house, eating some bread and drinking some wine and having some honey and just relaxing and somewhere praying while these other dudes was in front of the king. And then they opened their mouth and did something that got him into some drama. And family, is that not what takes place a lot of times today? The things that these wicked are doing, you and I are somewhere minding our own business, not even thinking about what they got going on. But the stupid decisions they're making is now affecting our people. They're trying to bring us into their drama, putting us in their impossible situations. They're creating all these scenarios with their dumbass decisions. They're creating all these impossible situations and then want to call on us to come fix it when we didn't even cause it. It's a setup. What they want to be able to do is blame us for everything going wrong that they themselves messed up. It's a setup. But it's a setup for us as a people to do the impossible. It's a setup for you and me personally to do the impossible. The harder that they make things, the brighter our people will shine. Because this same Daniel also wrote in this same book that in these last times, those who are wise shall shine like the stars forever and ever. Those who know their Elohim shall be strong and do exploits. So it should put a smile on your face, family. When you see all of these impossible scenarios, when you see all of this unfairness taking place, when you see all these scenarios where our people are getting blamed for something we didn't have nothing to do with, it's a setup. But don't be in victimhood. Don't sit there frustrated that why they got to do us like that. Understand this is how they've always moved. And every time they do that, it's a setup for us to do the impossible. So in these times, as they're making things harder and harder and harder and adding insult to injury and injury to insult, understand it's a setup for us to rise, for us to dominate, for us to get victory, success, and destiny. When you come across these situations on your job, amongst your family, whenever you come across these situations, seeing how the heathen is doing, it should put a smirk on your face. Because you know, oh, okay, since they moving like this, that means the Most High must be about to do the impossible. Since they moving like this, the Most High must be about to strengthen me to do the impossible. Because I see the setup. I see their setup. But I'm not going to go into victimhood. I'm not going to go into a sorrow that will cripple me. I'm not going to allow them to wear out my patience. All this is going to do is give me unlimited energy to do the impossible. That's how you got to eat that. That's how you got to chop that thing up. That's how you got to beast it. That's how you got to go forward. I see the setup, but I understand it's a setup for me to do the impossible. In these times where they're trying to make things so hard for brothers and sisters to be able to make ends meet, okay, boom, I'm going to get creative and I'm going to launch a business. I'm going to get creative and I'm going to find some loopholes on how I won't need their system in order for me to be sustained and feed my family. I'm going to get creative and find every loophole and every weakness in their system that I can and exploit it and go out here and do exploits. Even though they're trying to make me dunk while they got a 500-pound restrainer on me. And even though they're trying to make me dunk this basketball, they got a 500-pound restrainer on me, and they're making me jump from 10 feet lower than where everybody else is jumping from. Watch me jump with the 500-pound restrainer on and tear the whole goal down and do the impossible. What they were trying to keep me from doing, watch me do it anyway. While they're putting forth all these impossible scenarios and trying to say anything we accomplish is not valid, watch us have even more accomplishments. Watch us rise even higher. Watch us be on top and them on bottom. Watch even a week or 2 weeks from now, these same people putting all these impossible demands be nowhere to be found. Watch in the end, we win, you and I and our people. Because guess what? Luke chapter 1, verse 37, even though it's a setup, they're putting our people in for an impossible situation. Luke 1:37, for with the Most High, nothing shall be impossible. For with the Most High, nothing shall be impossible. Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, I can do all things through Messiah, which strengthened me. So no matter what their setup is, it's a setup for us to do the impossible. Those who know their Elohim shall be strong and do exploits. Those who are wise shall shine like the stars forever and ever. Those who lead many to righteousness. In these days, family, get ready, because we as a people are going to do the impossible. You and I individually are going to do the impossible. You are going to see us come up with great inventions. We are going to have great inventions. We are going to have great accomplishments. We are going to have great businesses. We are going to have supernatural signs and wonders following us. We're going to have the supernatural and the natural. We're going to be high achievers in all areas and all aspects. You shall rise. I shall rise. We shall rise. Because all of this that's going on is merely a setup for us to do the impossible. Shalom.
All right. 2 powerful lessons. All right, y'all. So everybody, this was a great lesson. Always enjoy his lessons. And they speak to us in regards to many of the things going on today. That's what I really love about it. Always well received. So everyone, I'm going to be doing another live stream, in regards to Hank Aaron, who got a COVID vaccine on the 5th and died in about, I think, like 15 days later. He died. And it didn't even get the second shot, just got the first one. So, so that is something we'll be discussing. I'll have a panel tonight. So hopefully, we'll have a good conversation once again about why we know that vaccine is no good. So wherever you are, please enjoy the rest of your Sabbath, and we'll come back together next week once again. Shalom, family.